A coworker stole my $800 chair, so I called the cops. Ada? I started a new sales job at a company selling security systems. The chair in my cubicle was awful, so on day 3 I brought in my own Herman Miller Aeron chair. It cost me $1,800, and I used it at home. The next day, it was gone. I looked around and found another sales rep sitting in it. I asked for it back, and he told me to basically fuck off. I went to the company owner. He said chairs were first come, first served. I explained this was my personal chair, not company property. He told me to come in earlier if I wanted it. The following morning, same guy, same chair. I warned him to give it back, or I'd call the police. He laughed, so I did. Police showed up. I showed the receipt and serial number. Yes, Aeron chairs have them. He admitted he took it. When asked if I wanted to press charges, my boss said I'd be fired if I did. I pressed charges anyway. I was fired on the spot, walked out carrying my chair, and the co-worker was arrested. He'll likely lose his security license and career. So, am I the asshole for ruining his job over a chair he stole by accidentally ringing up $28 million worth of alcohol at work? I work at a liquor store, and the day after Christmas was painfully slow. Near the end of my shift, my coworker and I started joking around on the register, scanning a mini bottle over and over just to see the total climb. Then a whole box of shooters. Still bored. That's when my coworker found an expensive wine still in the system, almost $10K, and set the quantity to $999. We were laughing as the total hit millions. Then he found another bottle worth nearly $20K and did the same. The screen now read $28,000. Here's where I messed up. I took the transaction all the way to the cash payment screen, where one press of enter completes the sale. My coworker didn't realize how far I'd gone, and hit enter. The register instantly recorded $28 million in cash. Panic. Absolute panic. We tried to undo it, only to find the system caps returns at $1 million per transaction. I spent the next hour processing dozens of $1 returns just to fix inventory. The problem? The daily report will still show $28 in sales and $28 in returns. Corporate is absolutely going to ask questions. I'm coming in early tomorrow to confess. Pray for my job. Accidentally reply all to my boss. Memes ensued. Stressed at work, I tried venting to a friend by forwarding my boss's email with the caption, "If he asks for one more update, I'll start sending hourly sanity reports." Except I didn't forward it. I hit reply all. 40 coworkers, HR, my boss. I panicked and hit recall, which only sent another alert. The memes started immediately. My boss just replied, "Duly noted." I still triple-check every email like it's a nuclear launch code. Tifu by laughing at a Spanish joke and exposing myself. I work in a warehouse where almost everyone speaks Spanish. Management knows I understand it, but the workers don't. From day one, people assumed I was just another young white guy who couldn't understand a word. For months, they openly talked about me in Spanish right in front of my face. Complaints, jokes, trash talk. I let it slide and used it to understand the team better. One day in the break room, someone told a joke in Spanish. Nobody laughed. Except me. I laughed hard. Instantly, the room went silent. Everyone stared. A guy stepped up, cornered me, and asked, in Spanish, if I understood them. I tried to play dumb. He got closer and said, if I was lying and they found out later, I'd regret it. So I answered him back in Spanish. The room exploded. They realized they'd been trash-talking their supervisor for 9 months. After things cooled down, they laughed it off. And from that day on, they actually respected me. Now we all speak Spanish.
By stealing a cat, paying $430 in vet bills, and realizing it wasn't mine. Tonight I thought my indoor black cat, Luna, escaped. She's a pure void cat. No white spots, yellow eyes, zero survival instincts. I panicked, grabbed a flashlight, and searched outside. Under a neighbor's porch, I spotted yellow eyes. I crawled in, grabbed the shaky cat, noticed a limp and an injured ear, and rushed straight to the emergency vet. I cried the whole drive. $430 later, she's medicated, cleaned up, and coming home. I opened the carrier, and my real cat Luna walks out from behind the couch and hisses. I froze. The cat I rescued? Male. I don't own a male cat. I accidentally kidnapped a neighbor's cat, paid his vet bills, brought him home drugged and shaved. Now I have one angry cat and one very comfortable imposter sleeping on my rug. Tomorrow, I get to knock on doors and explain everything.
I almost died coding, burnt popcorn evacuation fail. Working from home, construction blaring outside. I threw on my noise-canceling headphones, zoned out coding for an hour until I noticed flashing lights, police, fire trucks. I pulled my headphones off and realized the fire alarm had been going for 10 minutes. The whole building evacuated, except me. A firefighter said they were seconds from breaking in. No fire, just burnt popcorn. Now everyone calls me the guy who almost died coding.
I believe this story is true. My husband ran into Walmart for medical scissors. 20 minutes later, he's not answering. GPS shows him stuck in one spot. I drive over and see cops leading him out. I freak out. Turns out he forgot to scan a $12 pack of socks. Loss prevention called the police. Then they find his tiny collectible gun. He has a permit, but because he had it while committing a crime, it's now a felony. They take him to the hospital since he has an ostomy. Nurses joke about the smell, forget to seal his wafer right. It leaks. Jail won't take him. I wait all night for bail. Next day, court. And the prosecutor suddenly drops the case. He fakes another leak just to get released faster. All this for socks.
For telling a widow her golf clubs are worth more than the $200 a guy offered. I was shopping around our city's yard sales yesterday and stopped to look through some clothes. As I browsed, a guy approached the elderly seller asking for golf items. My ears perked up because I have just recently gotten into golf. She mentioned having her late husband's clubs but was unsure of their value, so she brought them out. It was obvious the guy knew golf by the way he took a couple practice swings, and you could tell by his car and clothing he appeared to be well off. As he looked around the bag, the lady was telling him that her husband had just passed and that she didn't know if the clubs were worth anything. He claimed they weren't worth much and offered her $200 for all. She seemed hesitant and said she didn't know, and he just kinda talked over her and said, "Here, I'll go grab the money," and walked towards his car. I checked the bag, and here's what was inside for golf enthusiasts. Almost new GT3 driver and 3-wood gently used Mizuno irons, nice Titleist wedges, very nice looking Scotty putter, great condition Titleist card bag. Together, it's worth at least $1K. Obviously, this lady's late husband had spent a good penny on the clubs, and I felt bad for her. So I told her she should pass on that guy's offer and have someone at a local courses pro shop help her price the stuff out to sell if she wanted. She seemed totally shocked when I told her the driver and 3-wood were probably worth $800 alone. When he returned, glaring, the lady declined his offer, opting for an appraisal instead. He got upset and told her she can't back out of a deal, so I chimed in that they didn't really make a deal. He got pissed at me and told me I needed to mind my business. The lady then told him she wasn't interested again and to please leave. He walked to the ED of the driveway and just stood there angry like my toddler would. Before he walked away, he called me an asshole and stomped off. The whole thing was more funny than anything to me. I was telling this story to my coworkers today, and they were all dogging on me, saying I should have kept my mouth shut and let the guy get the good deal. But it felt wrong letting him rip her off. So am I the asshole here?
Tay for announcing my pregnancy on Christmas and ruining it. I, 26F, recently found out I'm pregnant. Very early, about 6 weeks. I hadn't told my boyfriend, 28M, yet, and thought Christmas would be the perfect moment. We've been together almost 5 years, lived together, talked about marriage in 2026, and both agreed we wanted kids before he turned 30. So, I wrapped a small vintage baby rattle, added a note that said, "I'm pregnant," and put it under the tree as his last gift. When he opened it, everything changed. He read the note, dropped the rattle, stared at me, and started yelling that I forced him into having a child. Then he grabbed his coat and stormed out. We haven't spoken since. I've texted him, he read everything but won't respond. I later found out he's spending Christmas at his sister's house, and she has no idea why he showed up. She doesn't even know about the pregnancy. Now I'm spiraling. Was Christmas the wrong time? Should I have told him privately instead of making it a surprise? I genuinely thought it would be a happy moment. Ayada for refusing my ex's mom unannounced visits, even after a wellness check from the police. I have sole custody of my kids while my ex's family is 9 hours away. One morning at 9 a.m., I hear knocking on my window. I peeked and saw a pair of women's sneakers. Then I made eye contact with my ex's mom. I was just thinking, WTF, my building isn't gated, so anyone can drive in but needs a key to enter. So ex's mom couldn't knock on my door since she couldn't enter. Anyway, now that she's seen me, I change and go see why she's there. She got my address months ago when she asked to mail stuff for the kids. She claimed she was just in the neighborhood. I asked why she didn't call first. She said it was a last-minute decision. I let her in for a quick visit with the kids. I told her next time, I need at least a week's notice before her arrival. 4 months later, she shows up again. I hear tapping on my window. I know exactly who it is. She starts calling me. I answer after ignoring 5 calls. She demands that I open up to see the kids. I'm like, what? I'm not even home. Why she didn't tell me she was coming? I was 45 minutes away visiting my dad with the kids. She asks for my dad's address, but I refuse. I tell her I don't know when I'll be home. She doesn't believe me, insisting it was a last-minute decision. I hang up on her. I'm getting texts from ex demanding I let his mom see the kids. I told him I'm not home. Surprise, when the police banged on my door a few minutes later, I get a call from a random number, the police officer. He is there to perform a wellness check because ex's mom hasn't heard from me in 3 days, and she's extremely worried. Also, according to him, it is illegal not to answer the door when a police officer knocks. I tell him she is lying. I just spoke to her on the phone. She showed up unannounced. I told her I don't need to come back just because she showed up unannounced. She's ex's mom, and I don't have to talk to her. After that phone call, I get a text from ex calling me an AH. And how hard would it have been to let his mom see the kids when she drove all the way there just to see them? I don't mind her visiting or being around my kids, but I can't stand her unannounced demands to see them. It felt like a power trip. Daddy for outing my aunt's bedwetting after she wouldn't stop asking about my sex life. I'm 18F and paralyzed from the chest down after an accident 3 years ago. I live with my older brother, and last week he hosted a big family reunion. Zero privacy, relatives everywhere. One aunt in particular wouldn't stop asking invasive questions about my body and sex life. I told her repeatedly to stop. She laughed and said my situation affects the whole family, so it's not private. That weekend, she stayed over and wet the bed. Only my brother and I knew. I had no intention of telling anyone. I understand bodily issues better than most. The next day at lunch, in front of everyone, she joked that my boyfriend is more of a nurse than a lover. I snapped. I said maybe she needs a nurse so she stops peeing the bed at night. Silence. Absolute chaos. My brother had to leave the room to avoid laughing. The rest of my family thinks I went too far. From my perspective, I set boundaries. She ignored them. I matched her energy. So, AET for cutting off a mooching friend after he cleared out my pantry and disrespected me? My partner and I reside overseas. Earlier this year, a mutual acquaintance, let's refer to him as K, contacted us, stating that he had been scammed on an apartment rental and had nowhere to go. Initially, we only offered him a weekend stay, but he was courteous, helped out around the house, and appeared appreciative, so we ultimately allowed him to stay the entire 20 days he requested. During his stay, certain behaviors became concerning. He never contributed to groceries, and several times he pretended to be ready to pay, but then claimed he forgot his wallet, or could only use Apple Pay, which wasn't accepted at our local grocery store. He consistently consumed more than his share. On one occasion, my partner and I shared half a pizza while he devoured the other pizza and a half without offering anything. Nevertheless, we felt sympathy for him, so we overlooked it. We maintained a friendly relationship, and a few months later, we planned a 17-day trip. Since he was having difficulties with rent, we invited him to stay at our residence in return for looking after our dog. I even created a Google Doc with guidance for the house, dog care, gym access, etc. I informed him he could eat anything that was about to expire, like fruit, veggies, yogurt, etc. Upon our return, everything was missing. I mean everything. The whole fridge, freezer, pantry. He emptied 2 jars of jam, a jar of peanut butter, a massive Costco bottle of olive oil, condiments, rice, snacks, cheese, and even my partner's supplements, creatine, protein, collagen. He utterly ruined a ceramic pan. He consumed items that typically last us 6 months in just 2 weeks. I honestly suspect he might have taken items with him because it's hard to believe how much was gone. I didn't confront him directly, except to request he replace the pan, which he ridiculed me about. It's just a pan. Why make a fuss? I felt extremely disrespected. Now he continues to text me, acting as if nothing occurred and wants to meet up. I told my partner I don't want him in our home again. My partner believes I'm being overly harsh, and if he wants to remain friends, that's his decision. But I feel utterly exploited and disrespected. So, ATA for not wanting to interact with this person ever again and denying him access to our home?